So just yesterday, we talked about the immense amount of talent that made their way to Austin to visit the Texas Longhorns, and about 2 hours after that video released, Texas got a commitment from three-star tight end Will Randle. Today, we need to break down what Will Randle brings to the Texas Longhorns, as well as talk about the major implication that comes with this commitment, as Randle is teammates with the #1 quarterback in the nation and the #1 player in the nation, Arch Manning. We're here to break it all down. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I need to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, Y for yes, N for no. And given that Randle and Manning are teammates, do you believe that with the commitment of Will Randle, it makes it more likely that Arch Manning ends up in Austin? Let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. We're on our push to 15,000 subscribers, and I'd love to have you a part of it. And if you enjoyed the content, like and comment down below. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And first and foremost, let's talk about what Will Randle brings to the table, because he's a three-star tight end who stands around 6'4" out of the state of Louisiana. So first and foremost, anytime you can go into a state in close proximity to your own, you love being able to shore up those pipelines, and especially a state such as Louisiana that's home to so much talent year in and year out. And make no mistake, the state of Texas is not lacking on talent, but recruiting has become so national, you need those pipelines in other states. So establishing one in Louisiana is only a net positive for Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns. But what does Will Randle particularly bring to the table in terms of skill set? And if you turn on his highlights, one thing I actually really like, the first few highlights on his tape are of him blocking. And at the tight end position, that's one of the easiest ways to see the field quickly. Have an understanding of what your assignment is. If you're asked to block, be able to block well. Because a lot of these younger tight ends, that's the biggest thing keeping them from the field, is they still have to learn how to block. So whenever you turn on the film for a tight end and you see their first few plays are blocking, that gives you some level of understanding that, okay, at least they're asked to do that on a consistent basis at the high school level. That will help his transition to the college game. And I'm certainly not saying that means he's going to play year one. I'm saying that having that understanding, having a prospect that was asked to do it at the high school level can help that transition. And that's something I think could be big for a Will Randle. And even outside of that, he does play defensive end as well. And you can see the explosion he brings to the table. And that explosion is present when he catches the ball. He's someone who they used really heavily in the play action offense, and he was very effective in that part. Because he was such an effective blocker, they were really able to sell the play action. So it's going to be interesting to see how he transitions to the next level. This is someone that is explosive with the ball in his hands, that has been able to be a mismatch at the high school level, has an understanding of blocking, and when you put it all together, that's the type of prospect that fan bases need to be excited about. But now, we need to talk about the major implications that come with this commitment, because in no way, shape, or form am I saying that because Will Randle has committed to Texas, that it is a guarantee that Arch Manning will follow. That's not my contention here. My contention here is that recruiting is all about relationship building. Arch Manning has been to Austin several times and by all accounts has a great relationship with the coaching staff in Austin. Now he has a teammate that is also committed to play for the Texas Longhorns, a team many pundits across the nation felt like were the favorite to land Arch Manning anyways. So does this mean he's going to Texas? Not necessarily, but I think it certainly helps the Longhorns' chances, because now there's someone in the building that he has an even greater familiarity with than he does the coaching staff. Somebody that he's spent time with on the football field, outside of the football field. They've gone to school together, and whenever you're talking about that, that makes that transition easier because there's someone with familiarity. There's someone to make that transition with Arch Manning. So could that be a big deal? Absolutely. It could be a very big deal. I'm not saying it will be, but it is absolutely worth talking about. It's absolutely worth discussing. But if you're the other teams in this battle, i.e. Georgia and even the Alabama Crimson Tide, who, even though Alabama's in this battle, I would be very surprised if Arch ended up there, simply for the fact that they added in a 4-star quarterback that they really like in Eli Holstein, a 4-star quarterback who I don't think anybody would be very surprised if he ended up as a 5-star when it's all said and done. I mean, he is right in 5-star range if you watch his film. Real deep skill set, not a whole lot that kid can't do. So Alabama already has their signal caller. Could they take two? Sure, we've seen Alabama do it before, but it's a different thing to take two blue chip guys from one guy that's the number one quarterback in the nation and the number one player in the nation, and another quarterback who's on the precipice of 5-star status. That is a different thing entirely to when Alabama took Tua and Mac Jones, where Tua was your blue chip and Mac Jones was the 3-star prospect. That's a little bit different than taking an Eli Holstein and an Arch Manning. Georgia's a team that's absolutely still in this, and they have a really powerful pitch. Coming off of a national championship and being able to pitch to Arch Manning, we offer both a sure thing and the ability to change a narrative, which could be compelling depending on what Arch Manning is looking for. But at the end of the day, one thing we do now know for certainty is that even though the Texas Longhorns were in a great position before, they now have something else that adds another compelling factor, another layer in their favor that makes this process even more intriguing. And because of that, we're going to have to be keeping up with it. Hop down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about the commitment of Will Randle, and then let me know what you're thinking about the battle for Arch Manning. This has been something we've talked about consistently because it's not every day that the number one quarterback in the nation, who's also the number one player in the nation, fields the last name Manning. That's a little bit special, and the eyes of the college football world are watching, so we're going to be talking about it. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this. That's it. See ya.